The first thing I noticed was the chill, a deep, marrow-level cold that had nothing to do with the thermostat. The second thing was the sound of breathing. My breathing, slow, rhythmic, and steady, coming from right beside me. I was floating near the ceiling, looking down, and there I was in my bed, the duvet tucked neatly under my arms, my chest rising and falling in a peaceful, sleeping rhythm. My face was serene, untroubled. It was me, but it was a shell. This is a vivid dream, I thought, the logic crisp and clear in my disembodied consciousness. A lucid dream. I'll just wake up now. I tried to snap back, to feel the weight of my limbs, the press of the mattress. Nothing happened. I remained adrift, a ghost in my own bedroom. The digital clock on the nightstand glowed 3:33 a.m., the witching hour. A cliché until it's your reality. Panic, cold and sharp, began to pierce the edges of my awareness. I focused on my body, my real body, and willed it to move. A finger, a twitch, anything. The body in the bed slept on, undisturbed. No. I tried to scream, to jolt the sleeping form awake with the force of my terror, but I had no lungs, no vocal cords. My panic was a silent, screaming static inside a thought bubble. That's when the body in the bed shifted. It was a small movement. The head turned slightly on the pillow. The eyelids, previously still, fluttered, a spark of hope. It was waking up. I was waking up. The eyes opened. They were my eyes, the same shade of hazel. But they were wrong. The look in them was flat, vacant, like a doll's eyes. They stared straight up at the ceiling, at me, but there was no recognition, no consciousness behind them, just a dull, biological awareness. Then the lips on the face below parted. "Stay there," it said. The voice was mine, but it was all wrong. It was a dry, rasping parody, the sound of stones grinding together. It was a voice that had never been used. I recoiled, my formless self pressing against the ceiling in sheer, undiluted horror. This wasn't sleep paralysis. This wasn't a dream. Something else was in my body. It sat up. The movement was stiff, jerky, like a puppet being pulled by unseen strings. It swung its legs, my legs, over the side of the bed and stood. It didn't stretch. It didn't rub its eyes. It just stood there in the middle of the dark room and tilted its head, listening. Then it looked directly up at me again. A slow, predatory smile stretched across its face, my face. A smile I had never made in my life. It was a smile of ownership. It took a step toward the bedroom door, then paused, looking back at me. "Don't be late for work," it rasped. "I have a big presentation today." It walked out of the room, leaving the door open. I was trapped, a spectator in my own life. I heard the sounds of my morning routine from downstairs. The clink of a coffee mug, the faint sound of the radio. The thing was going through the motions, wearing my skin. The true, shocking horror wasn't just a separation. It was the realization that my life was going on without me. My job, my friends, my family, they would all be interacting with that. And it was learning. It was getting better at being me. The front door opened and closed. It had left for work. The sun rose, casting long, accusing fingers of light into the room. I was still here, floating useless. I looked at my sleeping body's impression on the mattress. I looked at the photos on the wall of me smiling, living. Hours bled into one another. The silence was a tomb. Then, the lock in the front door clicked. It was back. I heard its footsteps on the stairs. Heavy, confident. It walked into the bedroom and stopped at the foot of the bed, looking up at me. It was still wearing my clothes, holding my car keys. "It was a good day," it said, its voice smoother now, more practiced. Sarah from accounting said she loved my new haircut. It dropped the keys on the dresser and approached the bed. It laid down, exactly where it had risen from, and pulled the duvet up to its chin. It looked at me one last time, my eyes now gleaming with a cruel, alien intelligence. "Good night," it said. Then it closed its eyes. The breathing returned to that slow, steady, sleeping rhythm. And I was left in the chilling silence, a permanent prisoner in the air, forced to watch as something else lived my life, waiting for a dawn that would never come for me. I had woken up to find my body still in bed, and I knew, with a certainty that shattered my soul, that it would never be mine again.